Welcome, everybody. As you all know, my spirits and I together, we are called Austriastanas. My name is April. Welcome to the Conspiracies podcast. I have some more predictions going forward, leading into 2025 and 2026. More downloads and information. I just want to record this and just drop this off with you guys because I know that we can always come back to this and go, April did say it. Yes, I said it. So, um, today is March 8th, 2025, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the month of March astrology, but not too much, just enough to bring some awareness here at the forefronts for all of us. Now, March 24th through the 29th, we have tons of planets in Pisces, and we have to be extremely careful, you guys, extremely vigilant of our loved ones when we are traveling over water, doing water sports, swimming, pools, and the kids around the pools, drownings, things like this. I'm just saying, don't freak out because I'm saying this, but you just want to be careful of kids falling in or somebody bumping their head in pools, accidents, boats, um, rivers, lakes, oceans, things like this, and drunks on the water, drunks driving boats and not seeing people swimming in the water, and the boats hitting someone in the head. Like, crazy stuff like this can happen with all these tons of planets in Pisces. Pisces is a water sign, so anything to do with water is huge right now. So pay attention, especially between the 24th and 29th, but most especially the 29th. 29th feels like really uneasy around this time. I feel like there's going to be something popping off around the 29th when it comes to some issues with water. Of course, I talked a lot about her predictions over the last, well, since 2024 about water. North Node is in Pisces. We just need to understand that there's going to be a lot of trading wars, which I predicted and talked about, even due to the channels, which means all the traveling and resources that are moving through the channels, like Panama Canal or the Suez Canal. A lot of emphasis around these channels because the channels are connected to what? The water. Okay. Also, battles and arguments and things coming up around pollution with the water, chemicals in the water, our fresh water running through the cities, big issues with water. And this theme will continue as we go forward because they're going to claim, oh, we don't have enough water, or, oh, gee, the fires are going ablaze and do we have enough water? Where did the water go? Or the pumps aren't working. So be careful of being blinded by certain things that you're being told that are really happening when they're not, when sometimes they're just made to look like a convenient accident for them to push their plan or their agenda, especially for these smart cities and 15-minute cities. Everybody knows that. Everybody, well, some, some know that, but I mean, just be mindful of themes around water. My spirits call it, quote unquote, the water wars. And I was talking about the Panama Canal and for the 2025 predictions back in 2024. And I said, hey, pay attention to the Panama Canal and people fighting to have power or wanting to take control over power because they want control over the trades. I said, be very careful of issues with the trades. And now we're having issues with the trades. And now President Trump, even in his inauguration, was talking about taking over the Panama Canal from China, things like this. And then some themes and stuff going on with DT, meaning Donald Trump, over at the Suez Canal, emphasis over there. So, I mean, and so on. And it continues on and on and on with elements of water, storms, floods, things like this. But again, around the 29th of March, you want to be careful of water tragedies. Planes like flying over the water and then all of a sudden they lose control and they go into the water. Like, don't recommend. If you can help it, try to check in with spirit or get a reading through your trusted psychic like myself, or just somebody that you know. Say, hey, should I fly on the 29th? 29th is not the best time to fly anyway. The energies are real tough around this, but most especially anytime I see this many planets in Pisces or in a sign, something's about to pop off. There's patterns in this. So, um, Spirit mentioned something really interesting too. This is a prediction I have about the Pope going forward, especially around this Virgo eclipse. I mean, even towards the end of the month, the astrology towards the end of the month, leading even towards the 29th of March, um, something about spirituality and the Pope is what Spirit is talking about. Like something tragic comes up, something shocking, like shocking news comes up, like, what? Oh my God, around the Pope. Now, the last I heard, I mean, I don't really watch the news that much, but you guys sometimes once in a while fill me in. But the last I heard, I think the Pope is in poor condition. And I know that there are people that have talked about that he would be the last Pope to be, put forth in that position. And it would be the end of this. No more popes after this. So I'm wondering if that's what they're going to claim. It's like shocking news, especially with all this Pisces energy and Neptune stuff going on. It's like, oh my God. It's kind of like Pisces is about spirituality and things like this, and like, can bring up fanatical things around religion. It could. I'm just saying. But Spirit mentioned the Pope and this Virgo eclipse. Like, we got an eclipse here coming up on the 14th, and we have another one coming up towards the end of the month. So I'm feeling in between these two timelines, or these two spaces, the 14th and the end of the month. It's like somewhere in here, something could come up. But because that Virgo influence was there, and Spirit specifically said Virgo, I was thinking, okay, maybe the 14th, like some shocking news. But then they said also towards the end of the month. I said, okay, I'll bring that up. I'll let everybody know. Shocking news about the Pope. Like, boom, boom. Something coming up. Something we won't be expecting. Now, here's where it gets even, like, I was even shocked about this one. I said, what? Spirit says, yeah, talk about it. We have two individuals that I have predicted before would get into trouble, but it's been pretty quiet. But I don't think this show is over with Gavin Newsom. I have a feeling he might get arrested, or I have a feeling Gavin Newsom might have to go to jail for something. Like something will be exposed about him. Clearly just by watching him talk and just like paying attention to how he rolls. I know my spirits call him the globalist. So um sorry, but that's what they say. They're pretty direct. They're like, yeah, say that word. That's who he is. Not a globalist. I'm sorry. I apologize. The lobbyist. There we go. I said globalist. Lobbyist. And they were mentioning that he could get arrested, or he could be put in jail or accused of this or that or the other thing. They have like enough evidence on him to get him in trouble. And it could very likely happen this year. I believe he's a Libra. And another thing, Elon Musk, I was predicting that he wouldn't have a very good year. I felt that there's some problems coming his way. I know that he's all in the news and there's a lot of eyes on him, but he has to be very careful where someone could accuse him of something where they could feel vindicated, or they feel it's warranted to have him arrested or accused of something. Like he might be dragged through court with something to prove something, prove his innocence or something like this. So he could get locked up, or something could come up about this. And that's a very controversial thing to say based upon what's been going on in the news. But I will back my spirits up 110% because they mentioned that that possibility could very likely happen, where they can accuse him of this or that, or they could say, prove, innocent until proven guilty type of thing, like, or he could be dragged into the court of law, something like this. But it could lead him to a temporary arrest or something like this because of somebody trying to hurt him or try to make him look a certain way, or proving that something did come up, or I don't know. For whatever reason, Spirit mentioned his name. And you know what? He is in Chinese astrology a pig, and we are now in a snake year, and this is his enemy year. So I didn't expect him to do this well this year. And he should really lay low or take it easy, because typically when you're in your enemy year, you got to lay low or just shit starts popping off. Loving suggestions for those that are listening. Now, because in Chinese astrology, we have like two friends and one enemy. So pay attention to where your enemy year is, and if you know what your enemy sign is, it'll be your enemy year, meaning that's like a tougher year. So you got to lay low. Okay. Spirit showed me a couple things, and it's interesting because they mentioned March and they mentioned Texas. I've been really deeply suspicious of Austin, Texas. Like, I feel like the energy around Austin, Texas doesn't make me feel very good for this year. But I also was being led to the coast. And Spirit used the word Christ. Christ? And then I was like writing this down. Let me see my notes here. They said Christ. They showed me the word Christ. And I went, what are you talking about? And then I wrote down the word Texas. So I opened the map and I looked up, and there is a city or a town called Corpus Christi. It's like
Corpus Christi.
yeah, it's on the coast. I think there's something about this town that rubs me the wrong way. Not the people. Okay, for those that are listening, take it easy with me, okay? But there's something around this energy. Something could pop off this month. March, Austin, Texas, crowds. This Corpus Christi city or whatever. I looked it up, and I guess they're planning to do a 15-minute city there. So we need to pay attention to that area. Like, something could just happen, or you know what happens when there's a 15-minute city? They try to either flush them out, smoke them out, burn them out, storm them out, something like this. Hurricanes, things like that.
It's a prime spot for hurricanes, because hurricanes do go in there and really hit that area hard. So that wouldn't be uncommon for that area also, for that to happen there.
To just like a whole city just totally wiped out. Yeah.
Yeah, flooded out. It could happen pretty easy. I
Well,
mean,
keep in mind,
look at Katrina. When that happened in Louisiana.
keep
Same
in
thing.
mind we have all these planets in Pisces, especially on the 29th. But typically, well, between the 24th and the 29th. So that many planets in Pisces, I'm expecting water damage. I'm expecting like a lot of like just something happening. I don't know. But because we're moving into a lot of Aries energy as well, because we're kind of moving back and forth, Pisces, Aries, Pisces, because of all these planetary changes, right? It's like water, fire, and then some air. So it's like, okay. Which leads me to my next thing I want to say per prediction. I am having visions of fires in Arizona. I brought this up before, but I'll bring it up again. I'm hearing something about maybe Phoenix or some of those areas, and I heard that Bill Gates is buying up a lot of land down there. But I know that his interests, well, from what I understood, had a lot to do with the underground water systems or the springs there. He wants to control those things. And Arizona's got a water issue already. So I've been a little nervous about like some kind of fire happening over there and Bill Gates stuff, and people need to be careful over there and make sure they have naturally all of us should have extra water in the house. Doesn't matter where you live. You should always have fresh water in the house stored away. But this is something that Spirit had talked about. And another one of my predictions I'm going to talk about is New York. New York has kind of been this erratic, nervous energy that has always made me uneasy. I know people sing about it, love New York, and talk about New York. New York is New York. I mean, it is a very important state, but I just feel like something could happen in New York. I've mentioned this before, but something like I had seen the Statue of Liberty fall into the water. I've had visions of New York being like the downtown area, like being completely it looked like something just blew through there and just wiped it out. And Spirit had told me it will be called at some point in the future the New City. It wouldn't be called New York. They would change the name and call it the New City. This is what I was told. But I feel like New York has got some more problems coming. And it's not just one thing, it's another. It's like I feel like they have to be very, very careful with fires or problems coming up with fire, just due to all this energy, a lot of stuff moving into Aries. It's like, whew, like fires, things setting on fire. Um, New York's just stood out to me. I know there's other areas in New York, like Long Island, New Jersey, those areas. Like some of these areas have to be careful with fires. And Spirit was mentioning that this is either happening soon or it's on its way, but these are the visions that I was seeing going forward. But I did see a portion of the Statue of Liberty, like looked like it was breaking apart, or it's like kind of like a piece of it was just kind of hanging and it was ready to fall into the water. It wasn't a good look. But this is something that I saw. Okay. Now, RFK, I know that I'm gonna bring up RFK. Um he's gonna be making some moves here coming up where we're gonna see a big shift and change with our fast food industry, where we might be seeing people like certain fast food places being shut down due to how they are producing things or the what they're using to cook with or what's in the meat. And like, who knows, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, other places like Wendy's, I don't know. Like I feel like that he's going to change the law of what they have to cook with. Now, I thought that was interesting cuz like I had seen a video where he was like really celebrating tallow for cooking. They don't want to do the seed oils anymore. So he's going to push some changes here coming up. So we may be seeing a big change with people's supposed favorite fast food restaurants. Um you know, and we will see a change in how things are, either they're shutting down or they're enforcing like certain protocols to make sure in order for them to run it, otherwise they'll shut them down. That's I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Now, um I believe, you remember all those train accidents that were going on, was it last year? When was that whole thing that happened
The
in
East Palestine one? Or
yeah. Okay.
I'll look it up right now.
And then it crashed, right? And then all these chemicals were everywhere, and then there was like, and they were just happening in these weird patterns, like there was like more and more of these crashes. I feel like we're going to see, right now we saw the planes having issues and they're crashing or having emergency
It was
landings.
February 3rd, 2023.
Okay, wow.
It's a little while ago. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to, now that we got the plane stuff going on, I feel like we need to be very, very careful with trains. Um, I think we might go back to that. Not we, but themes around the trains and them carrying certain materials on the trains could be like amplified, like where we could have because they're trying Spirit showed me that they were trying to destroy the farmers, which they're already working on that with the goddamn bird flu, and they're killing all the chickens and doing all this stuff to make it seem like we're running out of this or running out of that, but they're doing it all on purpose. Spirit is saying that it's a bit, exaggerated and it's like too much. But one of the things that they showed me is like certain trains are carrying certain things and they'll mess with something to crash them, where we'll have like a chemical spill, or like in certain areas where they'll say, oh my God, like we can't farm here anymore. and then somebody like Bill Gates will go in and just buy it all up and use it for something, or there's a reason they're doing this, so they can create like space for a train. Now, one of the things with the Los Angeles fires was being shown to me is there was a map of this build. Didn't they want to build like a underground subway system or a train system going from Southern California to Northern California?
They're trying to build a bullet train, but they've been trying to do it for the last like 10 years. And they've used billions of dollars and have not laid like a foot of track.
Yeah, themes around, I don't know. Spirit just mentioned themes around the trains, big time. Themes around the trains. And the trades are just an absolute, it's going to get more interesting as we go forward with the trades. I know that Spirit had mentioned with BlackRock, when I saw, you all saw what happened with Zelensky in the Oval Office. Um, I mean, who didn't see it, right? So, and I guess DT Trump just tried to kick him out and all this stuff. But Spirit quickly jumped on it and said, hey, BlackRock is trying to push a war with Europe, and they want to fund everything that's going on with Ukraine and fund Zelensky the money with Ukraine. I know this is a sensitive subject, so do with the messages what you will, but this is my spirit's um, message on this, um, about what they say is going on. So BlackRock's got the pockets for it. It was interesting that Spirit mentioned when I saw this on the news what BlackRock, they said BlackRock is trying to give Zelensky the money, and they know he can't pay them back. So in order to pay them back, he's going to have to, you know, repay it with his resources and fertile land, but also with his own position of power. They can just prop up anyone in the front and just take control over Ukraine. And that's what they're trying to do. Again, do with the messages what you will, but this is what they were very specific about BlackRock. Now, within, like, I swear to God, 24 hours after Spirit mentioned BlackRock, and I talked about this on IG, BlackRock went in and bought up all this stuff over there in at the shares in Panama Canal and some other channels and ports, which again goes back to my prediction from 2024 about the trades channels and the ports and the harbors. They want to take this over because they want control. Because if you control the ports and the channels, you control the world. Because all the resources are coming in and out of that. So that was interesting. That was a message I felt to Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump openly talked about, excuse me, in the inauguration, that he wanted to take back the Panama Canal and take it back from China. And so BlackRock quickly jumped in on it, and they pounced. And so by the time I was talking about this on Instagram, I was like, you guys, like, hey, don't DM me with some rude comments and be cruel to me. This is what my spirit showed me. Within 24 hours, BlackRock bought into the Panama Canal. I'm like, there it is. There it is. And it was a mess. I felt it was kind of like a little bit of a dig to DT. And them trying to give them money because they know Zelensky needs the money and he wants the support. But I felt like they were trying to push this, from what Spirit showed me, to push the war with Europe, Ukraine, and try to get everybody involved. And those that don't go along with it, God only knows. But I do know that they want to take over they want to take over Europe. They want to just buy, because they want to push this whole world economic one world government, new world, or all that stuff. And so that is pretty much what I got. I know we got definitely some more stuff coming with more viruses, because I feel like I'm wondering if this bird flu thing with Bill Gates was this thing he was trying to push for another vaccine or something with his pharmaceutical connections. I don't know. But I will say this. He's trying to push, or was aiming to push, some kind of pandemic, as they joke around and say the plandemic. He was trying to push something, and I'm wondering if it's this or something else. I don't feel like it's gonna go through. I feel like it's either being stopped now, or it's like it will be stopped. Like nothing will come of it. So, but this is what I got so far. Again, you do not have to agree with me, because I know a lot of people are really sensitive about the Ukraine stuff, but it is what it is. I'm not injecting any of my opinions in any of this. Spirit just kind of had me write it down, and they said BlackRock, BlackRock, Zelensky, Zelensky. And then and then within 24 hours, next thing you know, they're like buying into the Panama Canal. And I was like, "Oh my God." And Donald Trump openly talked about it in his inauguration. "I'm going to try to take it over." I felt that that was their way to show him, "Hey, we're really the ones in charge here, you know? Um, and you're nothing to us. So we're going to go ahead and do our thing, and we don't need you, or we don't want you, or if you're not going to play the game, then we're going to do it our way." And I think they want him to play this game. And I think, because if you looked at Zelensky's confidence, he was very confident of what he was saying. And it got a little tense in there, but I just felt like BlackRock they know that he can't pay the money back. So they're not only going to make him repay it, again, with resources and fertile land, the way Spirit had showed me, but also he's going to have to hand over his position. And they're going to replace him with somebody that they want. And that will be their way to kind of push this war that they want, Europe and Ukraine and all that. So this is what's got me nervous, because if you really think about it, you guys, before I close with these predictions for now, and I will return and give you more. As you know, I'm always showing up for you with the tea from Spirit. We have Neptune moving into Aries on March 30th of this month. This is huge, because that is exactly around the same time it matches 1861 to 1875, and that was the American Civil War. So the United States is going through radical change as it is, and this is why I wanted to bring this up before I close, is about the Constitution. I feel like the Constitution of the United States could be rearranged or changed because of this Neptune and Aries placement. I'm very suspicious because of what, you know, the United States represents, the Constitution, everything. It's like, it wouldn't shock me if that happened due to that placement, or I mean, due to that transit, because of the American Civil War. Like, something could radically change. And the way, if you look at the birth chart of the United States, we have enemies on the inside. There's a lot of heated stuff going on. It doesn't look the best just looking at it. And it wouldn't surprise me if they did something like this. What that is, I don't know. But whatever the I mean, many of us have read the Constitution of the United States. Spirit says, don't be surprised if they change it due to this transit of Neptune and Aries. Aries is like a reset, the beginning, starting a new cycle. Well, look at the timing of that. The American Civil War, 1861 and 1875, was the last transit Neptune was in Aries. So what does the United States represent? Well, here is the Constitution, the original Constitution. This could trigger a lot of uneasy feelings and people getting kind of like, what? Wait, what? We're changing? What do you mean we're changing it? Don't be surprised if everything that America represents changes due to that Constitution. And I'm going to back that up, and I'm going to back my spirits up, because Spirit says listen to what we're saying, and it's all due to this Neptune and Aries transit. It's coming on March 30th, 2025. So anyway, today is March 8th, 2025, and this is what I got so far of the visions and downloads from my spirits. In all its true authenticity and in all its forms. So thank you all for listening to Conspiracies podcast. My name is April. My spirits and I together, we are called Osray Astoundance. Thank you.